So, welcome to your first video lesson. We are starting this with chapter 5 because that's the trigonometry section of our textbook. So, in this PowerPoint, you'll see I've got the title right here. This is 5.1, and I'm not writing. There it is. 5.1, angles and degree measures. So, this is where we're going to start. Sometimes I start, well, I'll be in the little video down here and you can see me, and sometimes I'll just leave me out of it. But you have to understand, it is me, and I will be teaching the same thing, same examples to the class that's face-to-face with me. So let's talk about angles and degree measure. Okay, you know that angles are measured in degrees from 0 to 180. You learned that way back when in geometry, or even before then. So ultimately, though, degree measure can be, a degree can be split up into smaller pieces. Okay, you've seen that before with decimals. Okay, degrees are split into minutes and seconds, kind of like time. And sure, it has everything to do with the rotation, kind of like time. Okay, minutes and seconds, there's 60 minutes in an hour, so there are 60 minutes in a degree. There are 60 seconds in a minute, so there are, again, 60 seconds in a minute, even when we're talking about angle measure. So these little things here, 1/60th of a degree, okay, 1/60th of a degree is 1 minute. That just means that 60 minutes equals 1 degree. Okay, like here, next one down, 1/60th of a minute is 1 second. That just means that 60 seconds equals 1 minute, just like in time. And then 1/3600 of a degree is 1 second. That just means that there are 3,600 seconds in 1 degree. That's all that means. So ultimately what we're going to be doing is we're going to be converting. Okay, so in order to convert in degrees to, when we have a decimal, to degrees, minutes, and seconds, what we're going to do is you start with looking at the whole number. Number 1, I've got 15.785 degrees. Well, 15.785, 15 is the whole number. So that's going to be 15 degrees. Okay, so that I've dealt with. We deal with that one first. Done. Now we have this decimal. The decimal is where we get our minutes and seconds from. So I know that there are 60 minutes in 1 degree, and this is 0.785 degrees. So if I multiply that by 60 minutes, then that's going to give me some other number. So using my handy dandy calculator, which is on my phone because I'm at home right now, is a little lame, and I'm sorry, I should have done it ahead of time. 0.785 times 60, and we get 47.1. Now this is going to be minutes. Okay, so I'm going to take only the whole minutes because I have a decimal on here. That means I've got some seconds in here too. So I'm going to say 47 minutes. Now minutes are denoted by a single apostrophe. So we got degrees, we got minutes, and we've got seconds. Seconds are going to be denoted by, their symbol is the quotation mark. Minutes symbol is the apostrophe. So now I've got the 0.1. So now I'm going to take the 0.1 and I've got to find out how many seconds that is. Well, this is 0.1 minutes. So I'm going to multiply that by 60 seconds. Okay? And that's going to be 6 seconds. So I've got 15 degrees, 47 minutes, and 6 seconds. Sometimes on the seconds, you might get another decimal. If you have another decimal on the seconds, you just write it on the problem. Okay. Number 2, I'd like you to pause the video and try number 2 on your own. I would just tell you that it's negative, so the whole thing, you're just going to put a negative sign in front of the whole degrees. So pause your video, try it on your own. I'm not going to pause. I'm just going to keep going, but you need to pause and try it on your own. So, again, I just gave you the hint with the negative. It's going to be negative 329 degrees. Okay? Now, with the decimal, I have to take that decimal. I don't have a lot of room on my screencast, so I'm going to move the work to the side a little bit. So I've got 0.125 to the side. I went down low. Oh, well. We're going to multiply that by 60. Okay, so when we take 0.125 times 60, we get 7.5. So this is 7.5. That's going to be in my minutes. So we've got 7. Nope, I don't want to put the point there because that's going to be seconds. So we're going to use the 7 minutes. And now for the 0.5, I'm going to work that out right here. I'm going to take 0.5 minutes times 60 seconds, and we can do that in our head. That's going to be 30 seconds. Okay, hopefully you got that as well. The negative sign just gets written out front to show that it is negative. Now, when we convert the other way, from degrees, minutes, and seconds to just the decimal degree, we have to do a little math problem, okay? And in the math problem that you're going to do, if the degrees is positive, so if it's positive, you're going to add. Makes sense, right? Positive. You're going to add. If it's negative, you're going to subtract. Okay? So that's your little trick. So the math problem, the addition or subtraction problem we're going to do on number 3, it's 39 degrees, 5 minutes, 34 seconds. We're going to add that because it is a positive angle. So since it is a positive angle, when we set up our math problem, we have to use these things over here, okay? So 39 degrees, that's our whole degree. So we're just going to write the 39 and we're going to say plus. Now, the 5 minutes, we're going to use this conversion over here for the 5 minutes. So I'm going to have 5 times the conversion factor, which is 1 over 60. And then plus, now this is the tricky part. With the seconds, we're going straight from seconds to degrees. We're not going from seconds to minutes to degrees. We're going straight from seconds to degrees. So this is where we got to use the bottom one, which which is talking about the degrees and seconds. Okay? So we're going to take 34 and we're going to multiply that by 1 over 3,600. And I'm going to grab my trusty calculator. Okay, you could actually rewrite this out as 39 plus 5 over 60 plus 34 over 3,600. I'm not going to ask you to do this in your heads or by hands. You can definitely use a calculator for this one. And when you do that, I'm just going to switch to my scientific calculator. I'm going to have 39 plus 5 divided by 60 plus 34 divided by 3,600. And that's going to equal, and I'm going to round it. Okay, I'll show you what mine looks like. Okay, there's mine. I don't like the iPhone calculators, but there it is. I'm going to round that 7 up to an 8 and take it to like 4 decimal places. Okay. You'll probably be told in the assignment where to round it to. 4 decimal places would be the 10 thousandths place. the most common one will be the hundredths or the thousandths. So pay attention to the directions. If it doesn't say, you know, I don't ever want you to round it off to the nearest degree. So always give me about 3. If there's no direction given, give me at least 3 decimal places if possible. All right, next one. Again, I want you to pause the video and I want you to try this one on your own. And remember my little trick up here. If it's positive, you add. If it's negative, you subtract. So this one we added everything. So this one's negative. So we're going to subtract everything. And you're going to start with negative 128. Pause your video. I am going to keep going, but you need to pause. Thank you. Okay, so once you've got the negative 128, then we're going to subtract, and it's 15 times 1 over 60 minus 25 times 1 over 3600. You can rewrite that. Sometimes it's just easier to look at. And then you grab your handy dandy calculator and you do the problem. Have to have the scientific one. So it is negative 128 minus 15 over 60 minus 25 over 3600. And we get, again, this one's crazy. They should be kind of crazy. Sometimes they won't be. But I'm going to round to the nearest thousandths in this case because negative 128.257. Let's put my decimal place a little nicer. Okay, there you go. Next video will be coming. This one was taking a long time.